My son, Matt, was murdered in October of 1998 in what became known as a hate crime.
Matthew Shepard was beaten last weekend, tied to a wooden fence by two men who met Shepard in a bar in Laramie, Wyoming.
We were with Matt until the following Sunday, where he passed just after midnight on Monday morning.
I left my family and my home to pursue my American dream. 10 days after 9/11 terrorist attacks, I began what would be my last day of work as a store clerk in southeast Dallas. A man walked in wearing a bandana and holding a sort of double-barrel shotgun, pointing straight at my face. And then he mumbled a question. "Where are you from?" I felt cold air flow through my spine. And before I could say anything more than, "Excuse me," he pulled the trigger from point-blank range. Left me to die on a cold concrete convenience store floor.
I've been the victim of a federal hate crime. I was targeted by neo-Nazis who threatened me and my family with physical violence. And it's not a situation where, you go to the doctor once and that medical bill is paid and it's over. I mean, I have really felt like how that kind of mental anguish can be ongoing, where you look over your shoulder, you're worried that someone's going to repeat.
I got a call from a constituent, and they said there's this flyer on my windshield. Explained what it was, about how all Muslim men were rapists, and came down there. And then I realized that there were so many flyers. When we called the police officer comes up and he goes, "So what crime do you think has been committed?" I'd explained to him that, the federal government has differentiated between, freedom of speech and hate speech. Like, there's two different things. And it just seemed like they weren't as concerned about this happening.
We live in a multicultural society, and people are different. Some people don't like that and will target a person because it's Tuesday, because they've believed that the person is less. And when that happens, it's not just that person who's at risk, who's been hurt. It's everyone who looks like them, who loves like them. It's a whole community that's impacted. I had been an administrative law judge and had worked as in neutral decision-making role for about 9 years before taking the bench in Lynn County. And so really listening is key. And so having that background in doing this kind of work has helped me really understand more the complexity of people, understanding the limitations of the law, and really creative ways for us to be able to find resolution. When you're ready, in your own words, would you mind telling me exactly what happened?
Hey, so a constituent called me and let me know that some person put a flyer on her car, a lot of anti-Semitic content.
Thank you for sharing that. I would like you to know we have a lot of resources available to be able to help you. Feel free to contact us again. You can contact the hotline as many times as you need.
Oregon's Bias Incident Hotline is an incredible, innovative project that Oregon's Department of Justice and Attorney General has put together to speak directly to victims and communities impacted by hate, to say, we see you, we're here for you, and we will work with you, and we will act to do something for you. To have that ability to be able to get quick, comprehensive, holistic services is a complete game changer for people who are navigating an emotional, sometimes physical, and really traumatic experience. We've had the good fortune of working with the hotline on dozens of cases impacting Oregonians, and we really want people in Washington state and throughout the United States to have these kinds of supports and services when they experience prejudice.
Because we need to understand that nobody wants to be a victim of hate. It's a shame that people hate others because of who they are. And a victim of hate crime should not go through what I went through. If we could simplify and streamline reporting process to make it easier for victims of hate crimes and witnesses to come forward. So a 24/7 support line is extremely crucial, and it will benefit not only the victims of hate crimes, but also society as a whole.
This is the culmination of a struggle that has lasted more than a decade. In the most recent year for which we have data, the FBI reported roughly 7,600 hate crimes in this country. And we will never know how many incidents were never reported at all. And that's why, through this law, we will strengthen the protections against crimes based on the color of your skin, the faith in your heart, or the place of your birth. We will finally add federal protections against crimes based on gender, disability, gender identity, or sexual orientation.
ADL fought for over 10 years to establish into law the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act. This was a landmark federal law because it acknowledged that hate crimes are federal crimes.
When we changed administrations in 2016, they consciously removed civil rights divisions in states' attorneys' offices. We just left them. We just deserted them completely. And then we're ordered we couldn't even express our support for Pride events. It sent a horrible message, and it just unleashed this hate from all corners.
We have a number of jurisdictions that still report zero hate crimes, zero bias incidents, even within our own state, who don't fulfill the mandatory requirement that law enforcement that responds to bias incidents refer them to our hotline. We really need to increase awareness that this stuff is happening. Part of our role is to help law enforcement understand the importance of these crimes, to be able to alleviate some of the work that they have to do when they have a bias incident. Go ahead and say, I'm sorry, this isn't a crime. I can't investigate this. But I'm going to refer you to this hotline where they'll be able to support you in the aftermath of this. And so we've created a lot of toolkits and resources for law enforcement on our website.
We know that our laws have been working when it comes to our federal laws and a lot of our state laws recognizing hate crimes, but we have to do more to protect people. And we know that the time is now. And we really feel like having some sort of hotline will say to people, you matter, your experiences matter, you're not just a statistic. You are a person, you are a community, and you deserve to be made whole and feel safe. And I think that kind of message is the most powerful one that we can send to people who are victimized by hate and people who are perpetrating hateful acts as well.
Our approach is to really let one person know that we care. As a queer woman of color who struggled to have my own voice heard, it just makes me so happy and supercharges me to continue doing this work. At the heart of it is justice, and people should be able to meet their milestones, their benchmarks, without barriers, without bullies, without violence.
Sometimes people need a little inspiration, a kind word, a gentle touch, a trusted shoulder to lean on, and a strength to discover their resilience and the inner spirit. And seeing the impact of this work keeps me going.